other side.
Yes.
I've seen you on this side.
We are live.
We are live. We are live.
Yes.
Thank you once again, my fellow presenters. Thank you, our followers. We are here again. It's Sunday, 2 p.m. And we have come with wonderful nuggets. These entrepreneurs, they are ready for this topic that talks about themselves. Okay. Before spoiling, the topic, let's introduce ourselves and let our viewers know where we're streaming from. All right, Ms. Foluke, you are up first. Ladies first.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. Good afternoon from my side. Good morning, good evening, depending on your own time zone. And happy Sunday to each and every one of you out there. Yeah, I'm happy to be here again, to come on this session to talk about a very, very important topic and how it relates to us. And I'll be starting by just introducing myself. My name is Foluke. I'm mom of 3, a wife, a Christian, originally from Nigeria, now resident in Manitoba, Canada. And that's where I'm streaming live from today. Before I migrated, I work in the banking sector, but now here in Canada, I work as certification officer. And on the side, I'm a digital business owner, a proud one at that. So I run this business alongside my 9 to 5 to supplement my household earning and to help as many people that are willing to step their feet into the digital space. So don't touch the dial, stay with us as we continue in today's session because you are going to learn a lot from the topic we have today. And over to you, our host.
I like that. Miss Joyce. Up next.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, our host. I'm also happy to be amongst you. And my name is Joyce. I'm streaming live from Atlanta, Georgia. Here I work in automotive industry. And I'm also a proud digital business owner. That's why I'm here to share and hear the nuggets from my co-presenters. I'm ready. I always come here to take notes because I'm learning every day. I'm ready. Thank you, and I give it back to you, our wonderful, wonderful host.
Thank you. All right. Our coach is in the house and he always creates time for us. And we are so happy that we have you today. Please tell us your name and where you're streaming from.
Wonderful. Thank you for hosting us. Thank you even for you creating the time and being here, preparing the questions. And I know the session is going to be amazing. My name's Dismas Ndiga. I am streaming from Akron, Ohio. And as you can see, I'm a road warrior. So I go around the cities here. I am added today too. And also I'm a family man. Family lives in Atlanta, Georgia. And I am also a proud digital business owner. And I am happy, so happy and grateful to be here. Looking forward to have fun because I know it's going to be a fun session. So with that being said, I give it back to you, our wonderful professor.
Yes. So my name is Beatrice. I'm going to be your host today. Our topic is African education system flawed. As I was listening to this, this is deep and everybody should know this. And I hope that this message goes everywhere in Africa, So this topic right here is very deep and real, especially for us. I was listening to Dr. Joshua Maponga. I don't know if anyone has heard about him. He's one of our African bold truth tellers, and he always speaks passionately about how African education is flawed and why it desperately needs transformation. And believe it or not, this I used this message to also talk about our business, and that's why this topic is also real for us. So my first question will go to Ms. Foluke. You're my first one. Okay. According to Maponga, the system we inherited was never designed to liberate Africa. It was built to produce workers, not thinkers. It teaches memorization, not imagination. It rewards conformity, not creativity. He says we've been trained to serve the system. We didn't design as, let me say that again because it's very important. He says we've been trained to serve systems we didn't design. Instead, we are building systems that serve us. So, having that in your mind, first question. Am I creating a business that solves real problems or just following trends?
Okay. Thank you for the question. The topic of today itself is such a very deep one. And the questions that follows, follow the same way. It's for critical thinking. But this is what we need at this time, because what is on ground now, it's like we are being affected from what the trend has always been. And we've got to be the agents of the change that, we truly need. Truly, when you look at African education, very relative to all the way you introduce it, there is so many elements of error in it, because we don't have the opportunity to be a critical thinking. Actually, we just follow instruction. You do this, you do this, without even questioning what is the basis behind what I'm being asked to do. But bringing it to the business, that am I creating a business that solves problem or just following trends? I would say, categorically that my digital business, the one we are doing, is here to solve problems and not to just follow trends. And I'm going to elaborate briefly on why it is, like that. Following the trend, when we talk about you following the trend, it makes us kind of busy. You may be following the trend, doing something repeatedly, just being busy without creating meaningful impacts. But when we talk about when something actually solves a problem, it means that it's really, really helping as many people to come out of whatever problem or challenges they have, and is making good impacts in the life of as many people that are using the system. So my business, the evidence are everywhere, because we talk about how a lot of people has leveraged our business model to transform their life, because we have the products in terms of the company that we partner with. We have the system that we are using that is making the business easy for us to run, even as we all know that we are busy in our life, having our jobs, having our family, children to attend to, and yet we are still running the business. And we have the community as well. That is, you will be in business, but certainly not alone, because we have a large community that we can connect with, just like we are here doing this together, learning and seeing how we can improve ourselves. So that being said, my business is the one that provides solution to problem and not just following trend, because a lot of people have leveraged that system and it has helped them. Let me cite an example from our dream team. A lot of people through this business have been able to quit their 9 to 5 We all know that working in this part of the world is something that everybody, when we come here, you fit into the system, you begin to work. And if care is not taken, another 10, 20 years, you are still held up in the business, in the system, in the structure of how you should work in this part of the world. That you would work 5 years, you are just stuck on that same job that is no longer giving you fulfillment. But having discovered this business opportunity, for me personally, it has helped me to regain my time. And it has done that to a lot of people in my business community, that through this business, because it's Profast solution, they are able to walk away from their 9 to 5 without minding, how their bill is going to be paid, because the business brought enough financial blessings their way, and they are able to quit their 9 to 5 and have that time more to spend with their children and their loved ones. And the business has helped a lot of people as well to achieve their dreams, the dreams of traveling the world, the dreams of doing things that you always want to do, and not just being tied to a cubicle where you work 8 to 9, 5 or 9 to 5 all days of your life without being able to strategize and do things that brings joy to you. So that is the business we have here. That is what I'm being plugged into. That is what thousands of people globally are plugged into, and is helping a lot of people, to regain their self, to regain their life, and is making impact in the life of a lot of people. So with that being said, I give it back to you, host.
I love it. I love it. I love it. The way you broke it down. That's why I was quiet. I wanted you to exhaust all your points. But unfortunately, I'm still on you.
Okay.
Still thinking about this education that Africans are given, that it does not produce workers, it produces workers and not thinkers. Still on those lines, how often do you challenge your ideas and think beyond what you are taught? Because I'm sure you went to those African schools yourself.
Exactly. We are products of those schools.
Yes.
Yeah, how I challenge myself, having discovered what the problem is I don't just limit myself to like copy what others are doing. I try as much as possible to think of what is the way forward, what will bring the right solution to this. Because many a times when we copy, we just copy blindly. Somebody is doing this, then I got to do it. What if I can think outside the box and see how I can do that thing differently? And I always do that as well in my business. Like this content I'm about to put out there, how is it going to impact somebody? How can it help somebody to understand what this business model is able to do for them? A lot of people are in this business creating content. You see some people, they even go as far as copy and paste, which is part of the African education problem that we have. But I think outside of that, I want to be strategic in my content creation. The fact that some people are doing it like this, fine, you can seek idea or get idea from what other people are doing, but we shouldn't just be following it blindly, copying it blindly. So I try as much as possible to diversify and think of what to do to make it new, and not just to copy blindly what others are doing. And another thing that is helping me recently is personal development, because when you read, especially those things the coach normally drop for us every morning, right? It's kind of have a way of inspiring and, enhancing my thinking capacity. So that's equally kind of helped me in the way I plan things, the way I think, and the way I structure whatever I do in the business. And the overall of it is that as many that would see my content, they should be impacted by it in one way or the other to take action that would equally benefit their life.
Wow, wonderful. One last question for you. In what ways are you training yourself and your team to think and not just to perform tasks? Just be doers,
Okay. Yeah, the way I train myself, although by the grace of God, I'm building a team at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, letting them know that whatever you want to do, mindset is the first thing. Because I started working on my own mindset, and to the glory of God, things are shifting. So I have a team now that is kind of small. I believe it's going to be getting bigger, and I encourage them as well, even from the start. I remember when one day recently, my mentee said, "This training, like that, what he said is like, you want to start feeling overwhelmed." I said, no, it's too early. Your mindset needs to align properly, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have the mindset that this thing is too bulky, it's too voluminous, before you know it, it's like you want to start treading the wrong path. So I make him see reasons. I find a way to even, tell coach to help me add him to that our group because he's helping me. And now he's there. He's seeing things differently. So, working on my mindset, helping my team as well to work on their mindsets, knowing that that is the basis for whatever success that you want in this business. That is what I'm working on, that is helping me, and I'm building my team towards that direction.
Wow. Well put. Well put. Well put. All right, Miss Joyce, you're up next. Unmute yourself, please. He also talks about that our schools, our African schools, reward memorization, instead of creativity. Even and that is true. That's how the exams were.
Yeah.
Is if who remembers the most, who memorized the most is
And
the
you are
one who gets
rewarded.
the A.
Mm-hmm.
So having that in your mind, first
Mm-hmm.
question. Let me give you the first question on the list. How do I encourage innovation in my business instead of repeating what others do?
That's a very nice question, because in answering it, I can answer it very well because it happened to me when I moving from primary, because that's how we go primary, secondary. That's how our system is. I excelled very well. Because it is just writing A B C D A B C D, no explanation, and then I was the leading. So now going to secondary, I found challenge. I had relaxed, so I cannot I cannot also not encourage that, like copy and pasting, because you are not you are there is no growth there. So innovation, as I can say, starts with curiosity, and I encourage that. And with that curiosity, you have to also have courage, because you might have curiosity and you fear asking questions, and then you have to have the willingness to think differently from others. That is how you see, like now, if when we are when we are joining the business, we are maybe we are representing the same business, like, but how are you going to be why would someone choose you and leave the other? You have to be unique, and in any case we are also unique, but we forget that we are not the same. So there should not be that copying. The copying should not be encouraged, and we really have that, like monkey see monkey do. But sometimes it keeps us comfortable because that is our starting point. That's where we start, and then we should start from there. But then soon get out of there. And then you've gotten that as an example. Then now use that to think differently. So you have to be willing to take risks also, and question the question your status quo, as I can say. So many businesses fail to stand out because they copy. I remember even me, when I came, I started comparing, like, oh, my coach, look at how my coach is collecting checks. I was like, and then when I was told, like, say your story, I said, I don't have a story to tell. Why? Because I was I wanted to copy, like, I need to be like my coach. I didn't know that I need to be different. So I'll discourage some. And the goodness is that after you have joined our business, you come to learn that you are supposed to be independent, and then you have a lot of like you have a story. You don't have a story as from the time you start the business. You have a story ever since you were born. So you, in case anytime you ask, like, can you tell us your story, you have something. Even now, even at now, you are asked, say something. You have a lot to tell about yourself. And that is the goodness about our business. Once you join, you've come out of the box, you have come out of the comfort zone, you now start growing. So that copying what is already working for others instead of developing your unique voice or approach is what makes others want to even quit immediately they join the business. So they need to understand that they are unique, and they need to be independent of they have a different assignment that they were given to bring to the world. So encouraging innovation means creating space for experimentation, learning from failure, and staying connected to your leads, your customers, evolving the needs. So when you prioritize creativity, authenticity over imitation, your business naturally becomes a trendsetter rather than the follower. So now people will start looking at you like they want now to copy you instead of you copying them. So that's what I can say about that.
All right. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of answered the third question.
Oh,
So
really?
I'll
I
ask
was
you,
all over the place.
no problem. So I'll ask you one more. What unique value, okay, or fresh idea are you bringing to the marketplace? You as an entrepreneur.
That's a good question. The fresh idea, I thought I would encourage whatever I spoke. I don't know whether I had spoken about it. The fresh ideas, like, I'll encourage people to be curious, to ask better questions now that you learn. Now that you've learned how to do, you need to be different. From that, I'll also myself, I'll be an example, leave an example, say, preach what I say, because I can be telling them to someone to do something and I'm doing different. So I'll be a good example of whatever I advise someone to do. They'll see me doing that. I think that one will be a good example. That's what I can think about right now.
Okay. All right.
Be an example to others that I'm not seeing there with others.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You really tackled that very well. All right, our coach.
Present.
Uh-huh. A man that is always ready. Mhm.
Born ready.
Born ready. He also points out that colonial education disconnected Africans from their roots, from their values, and their identity. We learned more about European history than our own. Our children now know things like Shakespeare more than Shaka Zulu. And he says this breeds mental slavery because when you don't know who you are, you depend on others to define your worth. Having that in your mind, that the disconnection from African identity and values. Question number 1, how can my business reflect African pride, African culture, or heritage?
Wonderful, 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 wonderful question. And I love the question. And I'm even go deeper past where the question is asking and go deeper and realize even the Africa we talk about is also still a label that you can even be bigger than that Africa. And you can demonstrate or bring something to the value of everybody once they know it. So let's go slowly. I like the way you brought that when the Europeans came to Africa, they introduced the education, and literally what you can see what it did, it really gave you a different identity, not necessarily an identity that was serving you. It was an identity that was to serve the ones who had come to us. So when you realize the first identity you must have, you must first know who you are. You must know. You must know. And you have to understand, once you know who you are, I like even where the Bible tells you, you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. You'll be free to express exactly what you came here for what your soul came to express, bigger and with no limitations, and you realize you are unlimited. So let's just go through the process of identity, because every label, that's why I said even African is a label, is good. Once you want to express it at that level, you know how do I imprint that label so that now I can bring the fullness to that label. So let's start in the beginning. Who are you? Or what makes you? What is it is you that is so unique? And what gives us the personalities where we become different? Each of us is behaving differently. So once, number one, you understand you are awareness, the consciousness. You are the awareness, the consciousness. And that consciousness, when it first comes, it has no labels. It can be anything and everything at the same time. And whatever environment it goes into, they first introduce those labels. The first label it is given is a name. And it's told you are John, you are Beatrice, you are Joyce, you are Feluke. The truth of the matter is that's not who you are. That's a label that they're going to condition you. And this awareness is going to take that label and have an identity on it. Anytime it hears the name, it'll say, oh, that's me. And yet, it is bigger than the name. So the first thing to understand, if I want now to go by the question, straight up to the question, and say, okay, I want to express this in an African way, what would be the African way? What is it that was that was so unique about Africans before the interference, before we got disrupted from our way and we were given the Western way? What was the biggest thing? Number one, we were people that were together, people that culturally, we wanted to work together as a communal. We lifted each other, and everything we did, literally, we didn't need prisons. We didn't need all that. You will see, because of our self-conscious and the conscious of wanting to be like the golden rule, you want to help other people. Even if we did crimes, you just had to pay by going to work for that person, or and that paid for the whatever thing that you had done for that person. Literally, we didn't need no prisons. That's just how wonderful our societies ran, because of that oneness. So if you're gonna do something now, you can come back to that oneness, whereby you're really reflecting that the communal, many as we are also just one. And that identity of that having one. And you can see things like, even our first president brought things like Harambe. Harambe was a unity of working together to put it together. I've seen Joyce do this, like merry-go-round, putting people together so they can put their money together. That is the beginning of understanding. It's just how the family is supposed to run. Because once we have that unity as a family, even if we do something, there's a level you cannot do to your family. And when we become separated, and so much separated, individualized, there's that family is lost, and it becomes like we are all strangers. So I love that pride where we used to work together as one. Second thing I would say, what is the best thing about the identity as an African? That Africans did some things that now when you look at it, with the way it has been trained, it's almost like we've lost that creativity that we used to have. And especially, let's say, for instance, one of the things, like I'll say, even when it comes how we teach our children, it used to be the older would pass on the things that they had learned way from their great past parents, and they'll pass on to the generation, to the next generation. And now it seems like individually people have gone their way, and you can see things like that that used to hold strong. Let's say, like even family, people now divorce just like the Western families divorce so easy. People were used to stay together as a unit. It's not there no more. Why? Because it's an individual thing. So at the end of the day, we get to a point where that most of us, because we've lost that creativity, and we look to a job to be the only thing that you think. So if I don't have the good job, or whatever that job that you're supposed to have, you don't even think that there's some things that your soul came here to create, but you're not creating. And you're thinking now you're just useless because maybe you're not a doctor, maybe you're not the jobs that have been set. And at the end of the day, there's a reason why all of us have left Africa to come over to the Western world. Because we bring our best to the Western, and we leave Africa with no resources, nothing, no expertise. Why? Because everything that leads what we're looking for, it seems like it's only on the Western side of it. So that's what I would say, that you can bring the labor and understand, even while you're still planted in Africa, you can still be all you need to be, because that power is not only in the Western place, Western world. It's everywhere. You have it everywhere, wherever you are standing. It's just that you are veered away so far from the power that you got, and you didn't even know who you are anymore, other than what the identity you had been given, which was through the school that you went to, which was a Western type of identity. So that's what I'll say. I've used a lot of words just to bring it back. You can be and do and have anything you decide to be. When you understand they are all labels, and you can put any label on that consciousness, and it will become one with whatever the label is.
Mhm.
So I give it back to you for the first question.
Wow.
I hope you got me with all the running around.
you kind of got that one very well, and I'm gonna leave it alone and ask you another one, because he continues to argue that many schools prepare young people to look for jobs. You kind of touched on that one, and not to create, solutions. And what's the result? The result is that brilliant minds are waiting for opportunities instead of building them. Okay. He believes that education should focus on skills, innovation, agriculture, entrepreneurship, and spiritual awareness. Things that build strong communities and self-reliant solutions. So having that in mind, the first question for you, am I building something that creates jobs or waiting for someone to employ me?
Fantastic question. Fantastic question. That's the reason why not only am I doing the traditional type of business, and I also was so attracted to this digital business because, in actual sense, what I love about the digital business, the money is great. I will not even talk about that only, but what I realize, even another thing that drives me with the digital, is to realize how many people you can awake in the process of getting what you want. How many people that you're gonna really awaken and they realize the power that is within them, who they really are, and what their identity is, and literally to realize, man, the power to be and do anything is it's always been with them, and the fact that they were not recognizing it, you cannot operate in the thing that you're not recognizing. So the truth of the matter is that I love this business is because when you look at it and you ask, what is the actual business about? You realize the business is about people. It's about people. And if you can help those people to really tap into who they really are from identity level and realize that at an identity level, that when they know who they are and they realize there's nothing impossible to them, that's the minute you have cracked the code. Because as they go out and do now with a new identity, with a new realization that they can be anything, that's when you realize you're going to build a business that you want to build. And it's not so much based on how many employees you're going to have, it's how many people, in my words, you're going to light their candle. And surely the world will be brighter because we are not going to be looking for employment, but we're going to be looking for our creativity showing up in the business that we are building. As you're building it, as it's growing, people are going to be unfolding and unfolding, and they'll even discover more things that were hidden within them that, unless they had a choice of awakening, they would have never expressed those things, because there's so much that you realize the fear that you have is not the fear of the things that you thought you were fearing. In fact, you're fearing your own power because you didn't even believe that you have that power. And when you realize how powerful you are, that God is using you as a center, that He can do all His activities through you. But unless you yourself realize who you are, you get stuck to the labels or the things that you think, this is the only thing I can do. I have to look for a job. The whole our creativity that God could have done through you is lost. So literally, we are creating an avenue where I would say humans can come and light their candles. And once the candles are lit, the world will never be the same. Be it the resources, be it anything that you're thinking about, all that is going to come when that light is shining bright. I'll finish with just one scripture here. It says, when the eye is full of light, the whole body will be full of light. So when that light is lit, the whole experience of that person will be full of that light that they have become. So that's what I'll say about that question.
Wow. Wow. I hope our viewers, you're getting these nuggets. They are deep. He's not even explaining, yeah, to the depth. Maybe you can understand more. But I hope you're getting something,
Yes.
because that's like a topic just on its own. Our
Yes.
man of what do you call him, Joyce?
Eh?
Laws. The man of laws.
Yes, that is what everything has a law. And there he has talked about them. Every question you ask him, he has to have a law on it. I
Yeah.
didn't even know that. So whenever I hear him answer questions, I'm ready to write the law on that. And I like that on him.
Yes. I'm not done with you. Another
Okay.
question. How can I turn my skills? How can you turn your skills or your passions, or maybe not you, talk to our viewer, how can they turn their skills or passions into an income generating opportunities?
Fantastic, 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 fantastic. I love that question a lot. How can I turn my skills? So it means I already have skills. The
Yes.
assumption in there that every one of them has skills. So, and passion. You are revealing a lot in just the question itself. So the first question I would ask, are you even aware of your own skills? Can you name them one by one? Because if you don't identify it, I talked about at the beginning, anything you don't recognize, it's just gonna die in you without ever having an expression. The minute you can recognize it and you say, what is the skill that I have? And to this question here, you'll find a lot of people will almost start arguing for their limitation, thinking they don't have any. They'll start telling, I haven't gone to school, I haven't done this, I haven't done this. What is it that you're passionate about? What are some of the problems that you're complaining about? Do you know, if you're noticing a problem, the reason why you notice that problem big time is because that problem is a question that is trying to emerge through you. If you ask that right question, it will also become an answer that will be wanting to emerge through you as an action, as a destiny. So when you start understanding even the things that you're complaining about, that's part of the solution that you came here to bring. If you can notice it, you can talk about it, you're part of the solution. And if you're not in the right mind, then you're going to be part of the problem. And you'll think you're a victim because of that problem. And yet you are the solution. Most of the people that we see and we revere, most of the things that they have created was almost by an accident. Let's look at a very good example, because I wanna bring this here home with this example so that somebody who's listening can really literally see how things come by and how much they're carrying a lot of things that can change this world, but they're thinking, especially with the identity they have, they're thinking they're nobody. Maybe because they don't have a university degree, maybe because they don't have a good job right now, for whatever reasons. I'm going to tell a story, and this is a story it will have a punchline. I probably have told this story before about this doctor that was also giving, he was a researcher that would do a lot of research with cadavers, dead things, and he would go do on there, and then he would come to the ward where women were giving birth, and he'd also do that like a midwives, what they do. And in that hospital, they had two units. His unit, where they used to do and they had another unit where midwives used to do help the women give birth. And what he discovered was, in his unit, post the kid coming in or after the birth, most of the women died with the diseases after they gave birth. His unit had a very high rate of death compared to the midwives. And you'd wonder, what is it that, so he tried to standardize everything. Like the color, he made sure there was the same color, lights were the same lights, he made almost everything standardized. And yet, that rate of death remained the same. And then one day, he had gone on one of his researches, and he was gone for a long time, for about 6 months. When he came back, he found the deaths, now they're balanced. It was almost the same number of people who were dying on his unit was the same with the midwives. And that struck him. He realized the variable is only him. So he thought to himself, could it be because I go to the cadavers, I work on them, and they come over here? And he said, you know what? Let me try to sanitize my hands and see what happens before I go touch these women. and give birth to them. And it's the same doctor who discovered the germ, because he realized he was the one who was carrying the germ all along. He had killed so many people through his hands without knowing. And his discovery changed the medical world completely. So when you discover this, now that was on the side, two things that came out of it. He discovered he was carrying the germ that killed so many people. And he also became the person who solved the biggest problem that we had, because nobody knew about germs until this doctor discovered it. So I am saying there's a lot of things that you're carrying right now that you don't even know is of value. There's so many struggles and struggling right now that you don't even know. You are struggling with it because you are the particular one that God has anointed to bring a solution to that thing that you're struggling, and you're thinking it has come to conquer you. You're thinking, why me? Why me? Instead of thinking, why not me?
Why not me?
So, you know what I mean? So I'm bringing this story to tell you, even the things that you're going that are uniquely you're struggling with, believe me, if you just change your perception and look at it differently, you are what the world is waiting for to become the next innovation that will change this world. So I give it back to you with that story of mine.
Wow. No, you also was talking about on the lines that you've just said, that we need to, instead of just going to school and getting degrees just for the sake of getting them, look at
Yes.
your community, see the need,
Yes.
and then go to
Yes.
school to solve that need.
Solve those needs. Yes.
Become valuable. And once you become
Yes.
valuable, that's how you get paid. Because
Yes.
now you have the solution, you know?
Yes. So every problem is just a solution waiting, and you are the solution. You see, I'm glad you brought that. I didn't want to go deeper into that because right now Africa struggles so much because it seems like we are waiting for somebody else to come and solve our problems.
Mm-hmm.
We have been so tuned out that we are the solution. And we always think like, oh, it has to be somebody else from the Western country to come and solve our problems.
Mm-hmm.
Most of our presidents run to Western countries to go borrow money. It's only maybe Traore who's not coming here to borrow money or to ask for the solutions, and is focusing to do what he needs to do for the country. Because even when you hear American presidents talk, they always talk with one thing in their mind. We are here for the American interests.
Yeah.
When you hear African leaders talk, you hardly hear them say, we're here for the African or the country's interest. You wonder, whose interest are you working for? So realize, whatever village you've been planted in, if you just change your mind and say, I'm here for this village's interest, what is it that this village is going through that I'm going to be the solution for this village? That can change everything. So
Yeah.
I'll pass it back to you.
Wow. I wish we had more time because I had more questions, but I will finish with this. Dr. Joshua Maponga, his message is deep, like I said. He's asking Africa to rethink its education, that we need systems that teach self-reliance, critical thinking, and purpose. That education should empower young people to use their hands, to use their hearts and their heads to create, not just to consume. So he's reminding us that we don't need more degrees, that we need more wisdom, more degrees in wisdom. That the future belongs to those who educate themselves beyond the classroom, through experience, through self-study and divine insights. So that he's saying that we need to learn and learn that is not working for us, and relearn. And that's how Africa will rise. That is our only solution for Africa. With that being said, I loved this topic and I like the way you all answered it. So I'll give everyone 1 minute to tell our viewers why we come here every day. Miss Faluke, you're up first.
Okay, yeah. What's a very powerful session today. It's like we are just in the lecture room. I hope this the reawakening call will get to every nook and cranny of Africa.
I know.
So Africa can once again be a better place that we can all be proud of. Okay, regarding why we are here, except if you are seeing us for the first time, but for the sake of those that are seeing us for the first time, I will reintroduce us. We are all digital business owners. Yeah. We found a very legitimate and a life transforming opportunity that has helped us to become a business owner in the online space. And that is why we are always coming out here to share the opportunity to as many people that are seeking something great for themselves, for their family, outside their normal 9-to-5 job. A business that you can build in your name, that you can even transfer down to your children. And it's so easy to get started. Like we all are here, you can see our websites. If you go to our pages, you would see our contact number through which you can connect with us. We'll be glad to help you to start your digital business journey. But the first thing first is to register with your name and your email to watch our information session. Information is very powerful. When you sit down to watch that 90-minute webinar, you can then decide for yourself if this is a business opportunity you are really ready to go for. And when you make that decision, we are here to help you get started. We hold your hand, walk you through the baby steps, and we'll be glad to help you to kickstart your own digital business journey. So with that being said, I give it back to you.
Wow. Thank you, Miss Joyce.
Yes, yeah, in support of what she has just said, nothing changes if you don't change.
That's right.
Yes, so you are the change that you are asking for. Go ahead and start it. That's what I can finish with. And the taste of the pudding is in the eating.
Yes. All
Yes.
right. Our coach.
We are talking now to all our immigrants in the diaspora. We are clearly saying you've heard the message of today. That education can only change if many of us rise to what we are being called. To me, I look at it, we are the Josephs of Africa, and we are the one who can liberate Africa by our own example, by going out here and doing what you need to do to build the business on our own and show everybody that you can do it. And we are calling you guys to come and join us. We are in a mission that we are calling you guys to come and join us. We do it together. You're going to benefit, and yet Africa will also benefit big time, because the more successful we are, the more we free our time so that we have more time even to go spend time there and educate others and awaken others, the more Africa will change. Because I just understand, if we don't do it now, when can we do it? If we don't take an opportunity like we got right now that can literally make a bigger difference, which one are we going to have then? And if it's not you, who should do it to change Africa? So that's where I'll leave, and I invite everybody, come and check out so we can join hands and be a force that is going to make a difference. That one day they will say, Africa's change started by these people. These people made a difference. They made a difference. And I believe it is our time to shine our light. With that being said, I give it back to you.
Thank you. I'll finish with this, that his truth challenges us to redefine success, not by our titles, not by our degrees, but the impact, the one you're talking about, the impact we're going to give others, the creativity and the wisdom that we're going to give others. So, our viewers, think higher, build deeper, serve greater. That's how Africa and you are going to rise up. So with that, from our studio, we tell our viewers bye.
Bye. Thank you for
Bye. We
watching.
salute.
Tomorrow,
Bye.
tomorrow
And
at
thank
10 o'clock.
you. Mhm.